I'm Mr. MacShane. You're not Jewish. We're just wondering, why do you have such a passion for fighting anti-Semitism?
It's a passion for fighting racism in all its forms. It goes back a long time. I cut my teeth. I came into politics on anti-racist politics, and quite clearly, if you're going to combat racism in any form, then anti-Semitism is almost defining political, it's a definition of the worst, most evil excesses of racism. So it's there. I'm interested in the ideology of anti-Semitism, of why it's pervasive, why it's made such a huge resurface. Because when I was a kid or young activist, kind of anti-Semitism was something for the history books. The last 20 years it's become actuel, it's become real life politics again.
How is anti-Semitism different in Europe today than it is in Canada?
I don't feel I'm confident enough on Canada to really comment. I mean, Canada is a much more kaleidoscopic political community. European anti-Semitism is rooted either in the old classic right-wing neo-Nazi or people now, sadly from East Europe, from Russia, who still talk the language of Jews that you thought ended in 1945 and blame Jews for the problems of contemporary capitalism or Jews having too much access to university places or to common facilities. In Canada, I think it's more political. There is obviously, if you just look at the books of John Buchan, who was Governor General of Canada in the 1930s, he wrote The 39 Steps and other famous thriller books. They're full of the hook-nosed, ugly Jew. So that language is always there in a certain sort of residual white upper class all over the world, including the United States. But I think in Canada you now have people who are organized in their hate of Israel and very often their criticism of Israel, much of which might be legitimate, moves into hate of Israel, moves into then hate of Israelis, moves into then hate of those who identify with Israel, namely Jews.
The inaugural International Parliamentary Conference to Combat Anti-Semitism was held in London last year. The second conference is going to be held in Ottawa this upcoming November. What can Canadians look forward to coming out of this second conference that we're hosting?
To get the message out that anti-Semitism is a global ideology, it has a global reach, it is powered by ideologues, many of them Islamists. I'm not talking about Muslims. I make a distinction between the faith of Islam and the ideology of Islamism, between Muslims as believers and Islamists as political activists, who in their hard expression are obsessed with Jews and obsessed with Israel, and they are present everywhere. Sadly, on campuses there are university students who all the normal left liberal heart emotional identification with any suffering that students have with the plight of the Palestinian people, and they then are used, I think, into constructing campaigns of hate against Israel that then become campaigns of hate against Jews. So I think Parliament is the right place, the democratic parliaments of the world are the right places to push back a bit, to expose it, to discuss it, to make clear that in our own democracies, Britain, in my case, Canada here, MPs take decisions that I don't think you can eliminate or destroy anti-Semitism, but you can try and lock it away and make sure it's just a few nutters kind of scratching at each other's sores, locked away in a cupboard somewhere, and they don't infect the rest of us.
Thank you very much.